This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Stugotz and I were laughing during the break at the idea of Abby accidentally inviting a neighbor over, and then the neighbor comes over and then sees like 7 things in the house.
Those are my drapes.
Stugotz just kept for himself.
Really into the drapes, Roy.
Yeah.
What did the
Beautifying the
drapes
house.
look like that you bought?
They're white. That's pretty much it. We need to beautify the house.
White drapes. That's what.
Yeah.
It is a funny visual.
Yes.
Neighbor walking. Hey,
Yes.
I ordered that cast iron skillet.
That's my lampshade.
Abby offering up tea in what are clearly.
Is Stugotz in a Skims bodysuit?
I saw over the weekend, and I wanted to ask you guys about this because when it comes to Druski, for example, and I'm imagining Stugotz has no idea who this is or what he does, but Druski has gone mainstream.
not Brewski.
In commercials and otherwise. He has gone mainstream after being internet famous first. And I told you this the other day when Shane Gillis hosted Saturday Night Live. He said to the Saturday Night Live audience, most of you probably don't know who I am because we are at an intersection culturally. And I don't think that the people listening to this necessarily realize what the numbers show, Stugotz, on just how much young people are consuming of the internet. It's a lot more than older people. There's an addiction. There is something happening with young people. There's a happiness problem as well because of how connected they are to the internet. But it became obvious to me when Shane Gillis is talking to the Saturday Night Live crowd, the audience, and he is saying, you don't know who I am, and then he is courtside at a Warriors game, and it's clear he doesn't expect Steph Curry to know who he is. And when Steph Curry sees him, you see the delight on Shane Gillis's face because like, oh, okay, this person knows me. And the thing that I wanted to ask the group was, when it comes to internet famous versus mainstream famous, we still have a huge disconnect between what those two things are. When I watch the Celebrity All-Star Game, I don't know who any of those influencers are, but who's right on the line? Because Druski's crossed over, has he not? He is not a person who's just internet famous right now, but he is someone who got almost all of his fame through the merit of I'm going to be funnier than people on the internet. And you've got a whole lot of content creators, Stugotz. It's become a crazy proliferation because everyone has seen the amount of money that there is around being popular on YouTube. And there's just a revenue stream for people who aren't otherwise famous, but have a connection point with people that isn't accrued in what were the previous ways on how it is you got to influence and popularity. And I'm not just talking about influencers, though them too. I'm talking about content makers who are doing it not on the strength of being a beautiful person or not on the strength of some sort of sex appeal, but on a talent where they're competing with other people to get famous because it's kind of the thing that everybody that's addicted to the internet seems to want.
And when you look at guys like Druski, guys like Kai Cenat, guys like Jake Paul, guys like Aiden Ross, where they're YouTubers, they're content creators, but they kind of spill over. Like Jake Paul has gotten into boxing and obviously has turned that. He fought, by the way, over the weekend. I don't know if anybody knew that.
It was such a bad fighter.
He was fighting a tomato can,
against.
yeah, for
God,
sure.
it was embarrassing, that
A tomato
fight.
can?
Yeah, he was fighting a tomato
Did he
can.
fight one real boxer who's like, all right, I'm good. Now I can go back to doing what I was doing?
No, he fought a tomato can.
Fought a tomato can. That's the business. Dan's
You've never
MMA
heard-
fight.
you've never heard-
No, it's a great expression,
Yeah,
though.
a tomato can is a boxer who cannot actually
So
box.
young, Jess.
Just
Why
a
not
guy.
like a can of like pumpkin?
It's a good question. I don't know why Billy, can you look that up? Why is it a tomato
Or like
can?
peas.
Why is
noodle
why
soup.
isn't it a can of corn?
Can of soup.
I like you changing everything. Go ahead. I mean,
Can of corn
Okay.
is a pop-up in
different thing.
baseball.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
different thing. You
Yeah,
can't use
different
can of
sport.
That's why I didn't say
Yeah,
corn.
yeah.
I don't know why that's
Why
not
is that a
tomato
can of corn?
I don't know why it's a can of corn. I don't know. We're going to
Look
look
it
both
up,
of those
yeah.
things up.
That is a
Black
good question.
beans,
I don't
can
know.
of black beans.
I don't know.
To give to Dan in first class.
People don't believe that that's so. They want photographic proof, but I'm telling you that they made the mistake on that flight from Las Vegas of serving black beans with rice in first class, and it's not a mistake any professional airline should make.
Presumably because of tendency to bleed when battered. Tomato juice leaking from a can being a metaphor for bleeding.
Yeah, that
Very
actually
good.
makes sense.
It does. How about can of corn? Why is a little pop up to second base called a can of corn?
I'm still trying to find it here. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
When 19th century clerks at groceries and general stores were looking for an easier way to reach canned goods on high shelves, they started using long hooked sticks to pull them down. After dropping the cans towards them, they would catch them in their aprons, just like a fly ball.
But why corn?
That's just a canned
This is on the top
good.
shelf.
Yeah, it's a canned good.
Where
On
Miss
top
corn.
shelf.
Mrs. Moeller keeps her peanut butter.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Why her peanut butter? Look it up.
Why not
Ask-
jelly?
I don't know. Ask him. Ask Randy. Red Deer.
Ask Randy's mom, actually.
Tony, are you amazed that when Billy throws stuff to you, it's never helpful? Like it's
Yeah,
but
that's
never
wait,
helpful.
But that's okay because you know what we do? We remix it and we make it happen. We pull Miss Moeller out of nowhere, and there you go, Billy. Cómetelo. La gatija.